following is a special presentation of Chat News. Hello and welcome to Chat News' election forum For the Record. I'm Dan Reynish. Before we begin, we'd like to honor and acknowledge that we are situated on Treaty 7 and Treaty 4 territory, traditional lands of the Siksika, Blackfoot, Kainai Blood, Piikani, Pagan, Stoney Nakoda, and Tsuut'ina, Sarsi, as well as the Cree, Sioux, and the Saulteaux bands of the Ojibwe peoples. We also honor and acknowledge that we're on the homelands of the Métis. People across the city head to the polls October 18th to decide who they want to lead Medicine Hat. This election, there are a record number of candidates running in our city, making this the largest race in local municipal politics in 20 years. Over the next 90 minutes, we're going to hear from the 5 candidates vying to lead this city as mayor. They will share why they believe they should get your vote. We will also hear their stance on some of the key issues impacting our city. Let's take a look at who the 5 candidates are. Ted Clugston is seeking his 3rd term as mayor. Clugston served 2 terms on council before being elected as mayor in 2013. He's being challenged by Lindsay Clark, who is on an unpaid leave from her job in the city solicitor department. Alan Rose has resided in Medicine Hat for the last 32 years and has a background in oil and gas as well as small business ownership. Tony Leahy is a born and raised Hatter who is also a licensed realtor, and Michael Starner is the youngest candidate, just 21 years old, but he has a keen interest in politics and has since he was 10. When the candidates arrived at our studio, we drew numbers to ensure fairness. Michael Starner was drawn 1st, Alan Rose was drawn 2nd. Mr. Clugston was drawn 3rd. Tony Leahy was drawn 4th. Lindsay Clark was number 5. They are all here in our Chat TV studios. I will be your host and moderator for this forum. Our format is slightly different than you might have seen in previous years due to the public health measures that are currently in place. In an effort to keep everyone as safe as possible, the candidates will not be appearing here in our studio at the same time. Instead, we've brought them in individually, but have ensured they're all given equal opportunity to express their views and opinions. So here is how the forum will go. Each candidate will have 2 minutes for an opening and closing statement. We have 8 questions that will be put to the candidates, and they will have 60 seconds to respond. Our questions for this event have been selected by the editorial board at Chat News based on issues raised by candidates and concerned citizens throughout this campaign. A timekeeper will be signaling the candidates to ensure they stay within the time limit. It's important to note that none of the responses have been edited. We hope this will be a very informative 90 minutes that will give you, the voters, a better idea of where the candidates stand on some of the key issues. But before we get to those hot topics, let's go to the candidates themselves, who again have been given 2 minutes to deliver an opening statement. Michael Starner, your 2 minutes start now.
Inexperience isn't the ability to not know anything, but to learn. What I don't know gives me the opportunity to learn it, and to learn it properly. I could make up an answer to satisfy the people, but then I would be lying to you and myself. Hi, my name is Michael Starner, and I'm 21 years old, running for mayor. I work seasonally as Santa Mike, but as for my day-to-day job, or I should say night-to-night job, I work at Lafarge as a laborer. I'm not a rich man, I don't have anyone endorsing me, and I'm doing everything by myself and with my own dime. The reasons for running was seeing the struggles of families at Christmas time and the lack of activities for everyone. Unfortunately, working the night shift has made getting information and attending events more difficult. I know I don't have all the answers, but I do know I will work hard on getting them. So please forgive me in advance if I do not know an answer. Thank you.
Mr. Rose, your 2 minutes start now.
Okay, for the last 3 years, I've led the Medicine Hat Ratepayer Society in Medicine Hat, and I shadowed the city with their budget and their spending. And I noticed undefined confusion that they had there. They were all over the place. We were looking at spending land, not selling land, but I looked at very little for business development. Now, where I think I can help is my background in project management and business ownership. Previously, council has always depended on unvetted information they were given by city administration to make decisions on projects. These projects always did not turn out very well, like the Co-op Place. Now, I look to work as a facilitator with the other councillors to try to bring them the information fully and help them understand and get them the resources as they need. Because I believe the only way we can avoid this in the future is by making well-informed decisions. The other thing I see is in the community, there's a big drive for us to lose our rec facilities. Now, those rec facilities are very important for these communities. And everyone gets caught on that, oh, it's hockey, but not everything's about hockey. We need these places for public skating for kids that can't afford to go up into the north or a multi-facility or don't have the ability to get up there. These are very important. I have 4 grandchildren that have all played at high levels of hockey, and all their started with the rink and public skating. That's how they got their success. So to take these facilities like the pools and the rinks away from these children is wrong. And that's why I believe I would be a best choice for mayor.
Mr. Clugston, your 2 minutes start now.
Thank you for this opportunity. When I first ran for council, it was out of a love for the city. I felt we weren't heading in the right direction, and I wanted to be part of a future vision for this great city. I can talk about fire halls and berms and family leisure centers and heritage trust funds, the waterfront, financially fit, but it's all mostly superficial. These are just material things that form the foundation of what has always been my true dream, my desire, my passion. All I have ever wanted to do is make this a prosperous city where my sons could find a job and build a life, where your children and grandchildren could do the same, where you can build a life, where they could see their dreams fulfilled and with children of their own and plenty of opportunities. A safe and prosperous city. Maybe this is selfish, but I want them to travel the world, or get a university education or a trade or start a business. It really doesn't matter to me. But what does matter to me is that when they finally decide to start a family of their own and a career, that it is in Medicine Hat, because we have made the environment of hope and prosperity for them. I tell this to every graduating class. Please follow your dream, but come home. Come home. We need and we want you here. This is why I've worked so hard to attract industry and business, tried to keep our exciting businesses and our existing businesses and helping them flourish. We are at a crossroads. There are those that don't share this vision. We need to reinvest in recreation facilities, good infrastructure, and great opportunity. Government doesn't create wealth, it only redistributes it. Those that believe we can tax and spend our way to prosperity are naive. We have unfinished business. I've proven I can get the job done. For all of you that have the same dream, let's finish this work. I'm sure many of you share this dream. You are hardworking residents of the community builders, the silent majority, and together we can make this a reality.
Tony Leahy, your 2 minutes start now.
Hi, my name is Tony Leahy, born, raised, and stayed in Medicine Hat. I'm currently a realtor, licensed with Real Estate Council of Alberta. I am a realtor in residential and commercial. I'm happily married to my wife Sonia, and we have 2 young children together. My wife is a local school teacher with the local school board. Prior to my career in real estate, I worked for the city of Medicine Hat for 9 years as a facility operator, which entitled me to see and be involved in many city buildings and projects. I'm running for mayor because I'm concerned of where this city is going. I would like to see a mental health center established. I feel like we have been threatened as well in this community with the recreation facilities being potentially closed. I feel like we've been threatened with the sale of our power plant and also with the layoffs of first responders. And that is why I'm running for the mayor.
Ms. Clark, your 2 minutes start now.
Hello, my name is Lindsay Clark, and I'm running for mayor of Medicine Hat. I was born in Oyen, Alberta, but I grew up for most of my life in Medicine Hat. before going to law school in Victoria and working as a lawyer in Vancouver for about 10 years. Before I had the opportunity to move home and work for the City of Medicine Hat in their legal department, I decided to take an unpaid leave of absence to run for mayor because I want a city government that's transparent and accountable, open and responsive to all of our community. I want a city government that treats everyone like they're somebody and takes a collaborative approach to solving problems and decision making. A city government that leads with the intention to unify and strengthen our community and our economy. A city government that relies on evidence and performance metrics to make informed decisions and make sure that we're on the right track. We are a unique, trailblazing community. We need to recognize our value and invest in it. We need to invest in what we have to ensure a prosperous future. That includes our businesses, our people, our neighborhoods, and our environment.
Thank you. Those are the candidates' opening statements. When we come back, we begin the question portion of our forum. With a record number of people running for city council, it can be hard to keep track of who's who and what all of them stand for. Over the course of this forum, we're going to break down the list of candidates to help you be more informed when you cast your vote on October 18th. Kelly Allard has lived in Medicine Hat since 1996. She is very vocal about integrity and fairness at City Hall. Mark Asham has also lived in the city since the late 1990s and says there is no other place he would have preferred to raise his family. He believes it's time to rebrand Medicine Hat to facilitate economic and population growth. Bill Burgesson has worked on the city's power generation, gas distribution, and water treatment with various companies. Burgesson believes public-owned utilities, the low cost of living, reasonable taxes, and beautiful views are what attracts people to Medicine Hat. Jim Black has 23 years of governance board experience. Black has a strong belief that first-rate and well-maintained recreation facilities contribute to the physical and mental well-being of residents.
Dad Mobility definitely has given us so much freedom. Trevor and his team, they're like family to us, and they treat us like family. You know, he kind of sets the bar for Reed to try even higher and do more. It's letting Reed be a boy instead of always having to focus on his disability.
Adapt Mobility. What moves you?
Mobile One Auto Service in Medicine Hat.
I've been in this business for close to 40 years, and I still just love working on vehicles.
Here at Mobile One, we are a full-service shop. We do everything from bumper to bumper.
We do coolant flushes, transmission flushes, full driveline services, brakes, mufflers, anything you can think of.
Drive-in oil changes. We do the job right in front of you. Mobile One Auto Service and Lube Express. Your one-stop shop. Drive in, drive out, drive happy.
Love isn't always easy. It can be demanding, and complicated, even a little scary. Love is not something we choose, it chooses us. Often when we least expect it. And love becomes our whole world. Oh, once you have it, you never want to let it go. Love gives meaning to life and changes who we are in all the best ways.
Style. We all have our own. At Sofas & More, we have the perfect fit for your life and style. Choose from a large selection of fabric options, custom design your furniture, select your color. Sofas, dining tables, and bedroom furniture. All custom made by you. Everything you need to make your house your home. Sofas & More. More than you'd expect.
For the record, the Chat TV Mayoral Forum is brought to you by Elder & Punko Wealth Advisors.
Welcome back. For those watching For the Record at home, you can join the conversation online by going to Twitter and using the hashtag MHVotes. You can also comment on our Chat TV Facebook page. When the candidates arrived at our studio, we drew numbers to ensure fairness. Alan Rose was drawn second. Mr. Rose, what do you think should be the top priority for council over the next 4 years? And what will you specifically do to ensure that happens?
Okay, it's a two-sided question. What I feel should happen is we need to get into business recruitment in this city to attract business here. We need to look at things like getting the number 3 highway twinned all the way, get the Wild Horse border crossing open as a commercial port with extended hours. We need to also approach businesses here and see what they need to grow and export, because buying local is good, but you make money when you export, and that's what brings the good jobs. The other thing I see is the closing of the rec centers. I think that's not good. The neighborhoods will suffer. They'll get derelict because of the rec centers. There's a lot of people who use those, whether it's a swimming at the Crestwood Pool or the Moose. So those are the major things that I think need to be addressed with the city immediately.
So my top priorities are recreation, financially fit. We have some aging infrastructure, aging facilities that need to be, frankly, in my opinion, replaced. We need to move forward with what I've been dubbing ice in the north and water in the south. We need a destination water park in the south, and we need to keep our present facilities open, but with the understanding that we are going to build new. As well, I've been talking about Eckodale, and it hasn't had any reinvestment since 1986. And I really think that this could be a destination regional park where we could have trail rides or zip lining and, of course, a campground. The other thing, we have to continue with our financially fit program. I think everybody's aware. However, gas and oil prices are increasing, but we still have some long-term, legacy issues with those fields, and we're going to have to continue to perhaps close some of them down. And as well, I'm also hoping to just, get out of this COVID and hopefully provide a bright future and some optimism for the rest of the community.
I believe that we need to start taking care of Hatters once again before trying to take care of maybe Canadian issues. I believe our mental health is suffering in this city, and I believe that before we can start talking about bringing in new business, we need to take care of our mental health, and we need to collaborate with provincial and federal services. We need to establish a 24-hour service to meet the needs of the citizens in this city.
Our top priority has to be to maintain and protect what we have. We have wonderful, strong foundations in the city, but they are beginning to crack. And in order to move forward to a prosperous future, we need to make sure that we are maintaining our streets, our sidewalks, and our recreation facilities, our neighborhoods, and the businesses and industry that are here already. These are what makes us great now, and they will continue to make us great, but we have to invest in them. We have to make sure that the people that are here love living here, and the businesses that are here want to continue to stay here and expand. And in order to do that, we have to invest in what we have.
I believe we need to encourage folks to come to Medicine Hat through tourism. One of the ways I believe we can do that is through inviting more recreational facilities to our town. As I have stated before, I would like to bring back the water slides. A drive-in theater would be cool, especially in times of COVID. And I would also like to bring in a wheelchair park for those who have mental and physical disabilities. So by bringing those things in, I believe we can get our economy up and running good.
There are plenty of issues left to discuss. We'll take a brief commercial break and be back for the record. Please stay with us. Let's take a look at the next 4 candidates vying for your vote. Mandy Campbell is a real estate agent. Campbell says she is running to enhance the Medicine Hat advantage, promote growth, and be an advocate for the taxpayer. Stephen Campbell has been vocal about the COVID-19 pandemic and is the founder of the We Choose Freedom Medicine Hat Group. Campbell believes the residents of Medicine Hat deserve a council that is transparent and makes the right decisions for the citizens. Brian Dueck was the facility manager responsible for all buildings controlled by the British Army at CFB Suffield. Dueck believes the role of elected officials is to make decisions as a team, and no project should proceed until the people are convinced they want it to. Robert Dubanowski was first elected to City Council in 2001. He is also a principal at a school in the Medicine Hat Catholic system. Dubanowski wants to strongly promote an economic climate that supports good jobs.
When you know your contractor, you know the job will get done right the first time.
Timco has proudly been renovating residential and commercial properties in Medicine Hat area for over 19 years. We're proud to offer quality workmanship in everything from kitchens, basements, bathrooms, windows and doors, decks, garages, and exteriors. Timco has journeyman and apprentice carpenters on staff for all your renovation needs.
Call today for your free estimate. At Timco Home Improvements, we're making your home better.
Met up with one of my friends, and he left, so we decided we were gonna go. So I got out in front of Starbucks at my wheelchair stop. And we tried to see if we could fix it on our own, but we couldn't figure it out, so we phoned the Dad Mobility, and Trevor came out like 15 minutes later and fixed the problem, and we were off. I would recommend them.
Adapt Mobility. What moves you?
Mobile One Auto Service in Medicine Hat.
I've been in this business for close to 40 years, and I still just love working on vehicles.
Here at Mobile One, we are a full-service shop. We do everything from bumper to bumper.
We do coolant flushes, transmission flushes, full driveline services, brakes, mufflers, anything you can think of.
Drive-in oil changes. We do the job right in front of you. Mobile One Auto Service and Lube Express. Your one-stop shop. Drive in, drive out, drive happy.
Love isn't always easy. It can be demanding, and complicated, even a little scary. Love is not something we choose, it chooses us. Often when we least expect it. And love becomes our whole world. Oh, once you have it, you never want to let it go. Love gives meaning to life and changes who we are in all the best ways.
Style. We all have our own. At Sofas & More, we have the perfect fit for your life and style. Choose from a large selection of fabric options, custom design your furniture, select your color. Sofas, dining tables, and bedroom furniture. All custom made by you. Everything you need to make your house your home. Sofas & More. More than you'd expect.
Locally elected school boards have governed education in Alberta since the late 1800s. This fall, 480 Albertans will be elected to serve as school trustees on public, separate, and francophone school boards. Trustees are advocates for children, goal setters, planners, and evaluators. There are 21 residents running for school boards this election, 14 in the public school division, and 7 in the separate. Details on the candidates can be found on our website at chatnewstoday.ca.
For the record, the Chat TV Mayoral Forum is brought to you by Elder and Punko Wealth Advisors.
One of the issues we've been hearing a lot about this campaign is the Waterfront Development District. The vision is for the Waterfront to be a regional attraction connecting people with downtown and the River Valley. It could integrate outdoor recreational experiences with retail and entertainment opportunities. What is your stance on the Waterfront Development District?
Obviously, I support it because I was one of the people that initiated it. I actually just came here from City Hall on my way here, and I saw it was a beautiful night, as you're all aware, with people sitting on, actually on the boulevard, on the park benches, watching the sunset over the river. And I remember when we used to fear our river. I remember when in June there was anxiety, but now that we have burned this city, it's time to start celebrating our beautiful river. Our initial, what the goal is here is that we put in about $6-7 million into a few projects that were provincial grants and get the waterfront started. So a lot of people say, well, where is this $100 million going to come from? Well, it's not. It's not coming from the public sector. We are going to be the catalyst. Hopefully the new town square and the athletic park will cause the private sector to invest 10, even maybe $100 million. And there's a lot of talk about, it's just a vision. Why are you closing Finley Bridge? Why are you closing River Road? No, we're not doing that. We put that out there as a vision and then asked you to give us feedback. So please try to go to the website or even drop it into Invest Medicine Hat and try to get yourself informed on what this could be, this beautiful waterfront.
I believe before we spend money on a new design and idea downtown, we need to focus on what we already have downtown, and that's infrastructure that is not working for the people of the city. I also have questions with it when it comes to closing the Finley Bridge, River Road, and having steps leading down to the South Saskatchewan River from City Hall. I believe that's a very grave safety concern.
Well, the Waterfront Development District, as you said, is just a vision. It's an idea that was proposed in the Municipal Development Plan in 2020, which is a 30-year plan for our city. So in the long term, maybe it's a possibility, but we need to consider whether it's a priority for our city. I believe that we need to focus on maintaining and reestablishing our downtown. We have wonderful businesses downtown. They should be consulted about whether or not we want to have a waterfront district. In addition to that, the waterfront area contains a river, a berm, 2 main corridors to downtown, and of course a memorial park. So all of these items will have to be analyzed to determine whether a waterfront district, as imagined, is truly feasible.
I believe the waterfront district is a great idea, but I don't like the area it's in. I think if we were to put it in Strathcona area, it would be more beneficial, as we don't have to take out any of the roads. And if there's any damage, it's easier to clean up in a park than it is to deal with all the damage that was brought new to the downtown waterfront. I would like to see maybe a boat, rent a boat station instead of swimming in the lake, or maybe not swimming, but I seen there was stairs going down, and I don't think that's very safe when it's being led right into the water when you got kids and folks who may be drunk.
As it's proposed right now, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not in favor of it. Last night at council meeting, they just happened to mention how they were very close for too low water flow in the river that we almost faced rationing. So to spend more money down there, and the other thing is, so far this year, I believe we pulled 3 bodies out of that river. So to encourage more down there, I mean, it's a nice idea, it's a good thing, but I'd rather see development done down in Kincooley. I would like to see an Eckodale Lake put in Kincooley so that people can enjoy the water there, and it feeds all the communities in that area, and also improve the ski hill there, or the toboggan hill, into a ski hill with a snow machine. I don't believe that this waterfront is going to do good. They're making more stuff to do downtown with less parking, and that's not going to turn out well at all.
Thank you all for your responses. For the Record continues in just a few minutes here on Chat TV News. Brad Gruzy is a born and raised Hatter. He describes himself as an honest, hard-working, dedicated person who has the best interest of all citizens of Medicine Hat. Paul Hemsing is a long-term resident of Medicine Hat who has run a successful business for almost 30 years. Hemsing is campaigning to effectively complete projects with haste and eliminate red tape. Cassie Hyder is a third-generation Hatter with a strong history in the cattle industry. Hyder is campaigning on opening a dialogue between the vulnerable population and the community. For more information on the candidates, including videos and links to their social media pages and websites, head to chatnewstoday.ca and click on the Election 2021 tab on the top.
Mobile One Auto Service in Medicine Hat.
I've been in this business for close to 40 years, and I still just love working on vehicles.
Here at Mobile One, we are a full-service shop. We do everything from bumper to bumper.
We do coolant flushes, transmission flushes, full driveline services, brakes, mufflers, anything you can think of.
Drive-in oil changes. We do the job right in front of you. Mobile One Auto Service and Lube Express, your one-stop shop. Drive in, drive out, drive happy.
Love isn't always easy. It can be demanding, and complicated, even a little scary. Love is not something we choose, it chooses us. Often when we least expect it. And love becomes our whole world. Oh, once you have it, you never want to let it go. Love gives meaning to life and changes who we are in all the best ways.
Would you be able to go over to Adapt Mobility and pick me up some compression socks?
Yeah, I could do that. Thanks to Adapt Mobility, I have been able to regain my mobility. It's given me the freedom that I had before I had my stroke.
Hey Dwight, how's the chair working? Adapt Mobility. What moves you?
Did you get what I asked for?
When you know your contractor, you know the job will get done right the first time.
Timco has proudly been renovating residential and commercial properties in Medicine Hat area for over 19 years. We're proud to offer quality workmanship in everything from kitchens, basements, bathrooms, windows and doors, decks, garages, and exteriors. Timco has journeyman and apprentice carpenters on staff for all your renovation needs.
Call today for your free estimate. At Timco Home Improvements, we're making your home better.
Style. We all have our own. At Sofas & More, we have the perfect fit for your life and style. Choose from a large selection of fabric options, custom design your furniture, select your color. Sofas, dining tables, and bedroom furniture. All custom made by you. Everything you need to make your house your home. Sofas & more than you'd expect.
For the record, the Chat TV Mayoral Forum is brought to you by Elder & Punko Wealth Advisors.
There's one word that has been heard a lot throughout this campaign: transparency. Many candidates have been very critical about the number of closed-door committee meetings. According to the city website, since January 2018, out of 49 energy and utility meetings, only 10 were open to the public. This year, all administrative and legislative committee meetings were closed to the public, along with 4 out of 16 public service committee meetings. Do you believe the number of closed-door meetings should be reduced to create more transparency and engagement with the public?
Absolutely. As a realtor, transparency is basically legal, and it almost should be. But to me, transparency can be quickly fixed within the first day of me being in office. And my number one concern with other candidates are they're only running on transparency. And we have a lot of issues in this city. And what are their plans for the next 4 years after transparency is quickly fixed?
Well, certainly there are certain matters that have to be discussed behind closed doors. Human resources would be one example of that. And of course, confidential business relationships sometimes have to start out behind closed doors. But ultimately, transparency is a culture. In order for a government who serves its people to be accountable, transparency is a prerequisite to that. We cannot know how to hold our government accountable unless we know what they're doing. So certainly we need to have more transparency in meetings, holding more public meetings, but also just engaging the community generally, making sure that we're always thinking about what our community wants and needs. And the only way to find that out is to hear from our community.
Yes, I believe every meeting should be made public unless it is very, very important to not be made public. Everybody deserves to know what is going on in our city, and I'll make sure that is done.
Yes, I do. Actually, last night when I went down to City Hall and saw them replacing the windows, I thought maybe that's what their move was on better transparency, was putting new windows in. But I do want to put in a mechanism that will allow the citizens to challenge why the meeting's put in camera. Because I think it's right that we have an avenue that someone can ask, is it that important? Because a lot of times it's maybe 10 minutes of the meeting that can't be public. So the rest should be public, because again, we are working for the citizens. You know, none of this should be hidden. Like, it's ridiculous when you can't even find out how much the naming rights for Co-op Place went when the citizens own the arena and Medicine Hat Co-op is owned by the citizens of Medicine Hat. So I don't know where the secret is, but we can't get an answer to that.
So every election, transparency and accountability come up and change. We need change. They're almost unimaginative comments to make against the incumbents. Yes, they're having lots of closed-door meetings. I think we've all had closed-door meetings because of COVID and those different kinds of things. But I want to talk about one example of where I did prove transparency and accountability. When the false rumors were started about a conflict of interest with the Invest Medicine Hat procurement policy, I called, and through the audit committee, called for an independent audit of that. And I promised those results before the end of this term and in an open council setting, and I delivered on that, as well as the audit committee. And as we all know, we were exonerated. We followed all of our policies and procedures that were written, and there was absolutely no malfeasance at all within the city of Medicine Hat. And so I would use that as an example of where I've proven there can be transparency and accountability.
Time for a quick break. We invite you to join the conversation on Twitter. Just use the hashtag MHVotes or visit Chat TV Medicine Hat on Facebook. 4 incumbents are seeking re-election this fall, including Darren Hirsch. A banker by trade, Hirsch has served 2 terms. He wants to drive revenues to the city in the form of business attraction and is open to more transparency on council. Jay Hitchin is a longtime professional communicator and business owner. Hitchin says he is a strong supporter of the River District redevelopment and is committed to a viable and growing transit system. Marco Jansen has been a flight service specialist with NAV Canada for over 30 years. He describes himself as a fiscal conservative who sees the need for the city to be run cost-effectively. Praveen Joshi proudly calls Medicine Hat home. He says people deserve to have faith in their elected officials and know that they are working for the people who elected them.
Love isn't always easy. It can be demanding, and complicated, even a little scary. Love is not something we choose, it chooses us. Often when we least expect it. And love becomes our whole world. Oh, once you have it, you never want to let it go. Love gives meaning to life and changes who we are in all the best ways.
When you know your contractor, you know the job will get done right the first time.
Timco has proudly been renovating residential and commercial properties in Medicine Hat area for over 19 years. We're proud to offer quality workmanship in everything from kitchens, basements, bathrooms, windows and doors, decks, garages, and exteriors. Timco has journeyman and apprentice carpenters on staff for all your renovation needs.
Call today for your free estimate. At Timco Home Improvements, we're making your home better.
Mobile One Auto Service in Medicine Hat.
I've been in this business for close to 40 years, and I still just love working on vehicles.
Here at Mobile One, we are a full-service shop. We do everything from bumper to bumper.
We do coolant flushes, transmission flushes, full driveline services, brakes, mufflers, anything you can think of.
Drive-in oil changes. We do the job right in front of you. Mobile One Auto Service and Lube Express. Your one-stop shop. Drive in, drive out, drive happy.
Dad Mobility definitely has given us so much freedom. Trevor and his team, they're like family to us, and they treat us like family. You know, he kind of sets the bar for Reed to try even higher and do more. It's letting Reed be a boy instead of always having to focus on his disability.
Adapt Mobility. What moves you? Style. We all have our own. At Sofas & More, we have the perfect fit for your life and style. Choose from a large selection of fabric options, custom design your furniture, select your color. Sofas, dining tables, and bedroom furniture. All custom made by you. Everything you need to make your house your home. Sofas & More, more than you'd expect.
For the record, the Chat TV Mayoral Forum is brought to you by Elder and Punko Wealth Advisors.
Welcome back. We're now at question 4 of the 8 questions we are asking all of the mayoral candidates in this year's municipal election. Medicine Hat is struggling to attract new industries. It isn't easy. For example, Aurora Sun, which was expected to generate up to 400 jobs once operational, sits empty and is currently up for sale. What will you do specifically to attract more businesses and people to Medicine Hat?
Well, the most important thing we can do to attract new people and new businesses is to make sure that our current businesses and people are happy living here. They already call Medicine Hat home. So if they're willing to do that, we need to make sure that we're removing obstacles. We're providing them a neighborhoods that they want to live in. With respect to businesses specifically, we need to make sure that we are aware of the workers that they need and work with the college to make sure that going forward, all of our community organizations actually, to make sure that going forward, our businesses want to stay here and create a great economic ecosystem for them to be in. And if we do that, that's the best focus group we can have, and that's naturally going to attract more business here.
We need to clean up our city. We need to make sure our roads are nice, everything is looking beautiful. We want our grass to be green. We want to show people that this is a city that you want to come to and not to run away from. Again, by adding facilities like the water slides, we can attract the people to come here and bring the growth and bring jobs and continue to expand in Medicine Hat.
Well, what I've done, I've already met with a few businesses here in Medicine Hat and asked them what can we do to bring more business here? How can we help you? But like I say, the things that are critical in my mind is getting the Coots or the Wild Horse border crossing open, get the Highway 3 twinned, get the 41 worked up, because if we don't have good access and egress, well, it's not going to do a lot for us. The other thing we have to look at is actually getting our college into a university and a trade school here. Because if we don't have the talent pool, we're not going to get the industry. But I think we should really work with a lot of local companies like Eggert with the drones and that, and ask them if there's other companies that they know of would be complementary that we could help lure into the city.
Thank you for this question. I love this question because it's been my main motivator. I am responsible for bringing Aurora Sun here along with Invest Medicine Hat, the first rendition. And we dragged them here kicking and screaming. And I know that I had promised 600 or 700 jobs. But let me say, I drove by, as you do every day on your way here to work. It is huge. It actually had to be built to factor in the curvature of the earth. It has value. It has about $250 million. Think of all the tradespeople that were given a lifeline and given construction jobs during the construction of that, and it will have value to somebody. It's like a golf course. The first owner usually goes bankrupt, and even so does the second. But the third owner will find something to do, whether it be growing tulips or THC, and it has become a taxable asset to the city, and is at about $1.5 million. So it is a success. Imagine if Aurora had gone to Quebec, which we were in competition with. The headline would have read, "City doesn't work with Aurora. We lose the plant to Quebec." And Hut 8 is another perfect example.
So we need a city that brings in communities and families, and I believe that happens when you have a city full of recreation facilities in your neighborhoods, when you have parks and recreational areas that are taken care of, and when you have a city that takes care of their people with whether it be mental health or health period. I'm getting really sick and tired of hearing individuals having to go to other cities around this this town to get medical help. And I think that's very important to families and new businesses coming into the city.
Thank you, candidates. If you've missed a portion of this mayoral forum, go to our website at chatnewstoday.ca for the full program or check your listings guide for a replay over the weekend. We continue to put faces to the names of all the candidates campaigning for a seat on City Council this fall. Allison Canodal is a high school digital arts and psychology teacher who has lived in Medicine Hat her whole life. Canodal would like to see a clear mission and vision for the city that is developed from the ground up with input from community members. Nicholas Martin was born and raised in Redcliffe, but now lives in Medicine Hat. Martin says he started working with other Conservatives at the federal level, including a former MP and a former cabinet minister, on forming policy. Roger McClary wants to generate employment through large public infrastructure projects related to geothermal energy. He believes this will help put oil and gas field operators back to work in green energy projects. Andy McGrogan is the former chief of police. McGrogan says being a member of the police service allowed him to gain a unique perspective on issues that are important to Hatters.
Style. We all have our own. At Sofas & More, we have the perfect fit for your life and style. Choose from a large selection of fabric options, custom design your furniture, select your color. Sofas, dining tables, and bedroom furniture. All custom made by you. Everything you need to make your house your home. Sofas & More. More than you'd expect.
Met up with one of my friends, and he left, so we decided we were gonna go. So I got out in front of Starbucks and my wheelchair stopped. And we tried to see if we could fix it on our own, but we couldn't figure it out, so we phoned Adapt Mobility, and Trevor came out like 15 minutes later and fixed the problem, and we were off. I would recommend them.
Adapt Mobility. What moves you?
When you know your contractor, you know the job will get done right the first time.
Timco has proudly been renovating residential and commercial properties in Medicine Hat area for over 19 years. We're proud to offer quality workmanship in everything from kitchens, basements, bathrooms, windows and doors, decks, garages, and exteriors. Timco has journeyman and apprentice carpenters on staff for all your renovation needs.
Call today for your free estimate. At Timco Home Improvements, we're making your home better.
Mobile One Auto Service in Medicine Hat.
I've been in this business for close to 40 years, and I still just love working on vehicles.
Here at Mobile One, we are a full-service shop. We do everything from bumper to bumper.
We do coolant flushes, transmission flushes, full driveline services, brakes, mufflers, anything you can think of.
Drive-in oil changes. We do the job right in front of you. Mobile One Auto Service and Lube Express. Your one-stop shop. Drive in, drive out, drive happy.
Love isn't always easy. It can be demanding, and complicated, even a little scary. Love is not something we choose, it chooses us. Often when we least expect it. And love becomes our whole world. Oh, once you have it, you never want to let it go. Love gives meaning to life and changes who we are in all the best ways.